Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're as excited as I am. It's Wireless Tuesday. Wireless Tuesday is a monthly podcast that revolves around Cisco wireless LAN and related technologies. It's a way for me and my colleagues on the Cisco Global Wireless team to give back to the community that's given us so much. My name is Jason Grant, and I'm your host. Let's get it going. It's Wireless Tuesday. It's Wireless Tuesday, my favorite day of the month. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, before we get too far along, I want to let you know that we have a new medium to get Wireless Tuesday content. I have a new Vimeo channel and a YouTube channel, both available. The links are at wirelesstuesday.fm. Be sure to subscribe today. You can get all of the past episodes as well as all of the future content will be made available right there. My guest today may not be a new name for you. It's someone I've known and worked with for more than 15 years. He's spoken at numerous conferences, Cisco Live, even recently at the Mobility Tech Field Day. I'm excited to introduce my friend, Jeevan Patil. Jeevan is in product management at Meraki. He's in charge of the platforms there, and he's going to give us an update. Well, you know what? Before I go too far along and tell you what he's going to say, I'm just going to hand it over to Jeevan. Jeevan, thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Jason. Thanks for the fantastic introduction. Everyone, my name is Jeevan Patil. Been with Meraki over the last year or so. I am the platforms PM for Meraki Wireless. So in the next few minutes, let's dig a little bit deeper into what makes Meraki Wireless one of the most exciting places to be. So first and foremost, I wanted to give you a little bit of background within Meraki for the Wireless Tuesday, because this is the first time Meraki is represented out here. So I wanted to dig a little bit deeper, Jason, into what makes Meraki Wireless, super exciting. First and foremost, Meraki is not a startup anymore. It was acquired by Cisco many years ago. We have over 270,000 active customers, 100 million plus clients at any given day, over 9 petabytes of traffic flows every day. When we turned on wireless health, it was turned on across 750,000 plus networks. And when you look at the overall market share for Meraki Wireless, we owned over 68.8% cloud Wi-Fi market share. And when you look at APIs, one of the scale part is pretty insane. We looked at our customers and partners actually exercise 25 million plus API calls each and every day within Meraki dashboard. So what's new with Meraki, you ask? Many things. So if you just take a look at this, over the last few years, Meraki is innovated incredibly rapidly. The first one is, take a look at, when we introduced the platforms, over 4 years ago, Meraki introduced a 4 radio access point. So this is where we had Wi-Fi, client serving 2.4 and 5 gig. We have BLE and we have a scanning radio. These 4 radios are all supported within MR33s, 42s, 5253s today. And then when you look at the licenses, there's only one wireless software license. Every feature and functionality that you notice out here is available to you as a part of that license. So whether you're considering security with Cisco ICE integration, whether you consider Apple Fastlane type innovations, or simply overall updates such as the crack update that we did. You talk about the different innovations that we've introduced from external antenna technology such as smart antennas, talk about wireless health, talk about wireless health APIs, to umbrella integration. All of these capabilities are simply built inside one license, unlike every other vendor that breaks apart and gives you, innovations, but at the same time, adds different licenses and therefore complexity. Meraki continues to operate with simplicity in mind, with the simple philosophy that customers that require any capabilities to manage our own networks should be built inside the management dashboard. So there are a few things that I'm going to dig deeper into. How did Meraki manage crack? How did Meraki manage security overall? Second part is I wanted to dig a little bit deeper into the fast roam capabilities and of course wireless health, one of the most popular features that we have. So first and foremost, Meraki has a lot of wireless data, and this is huge because anybody that talks ML and AI, if you remember, Andrew Ng, the father of ML and AI, has highlighted that you need millions of data points in order to deliver any sort of a reasonable, analysis. So think about this: Meraki is the only wireless platform, the only networking platform with this much data from hundreds of thousands of customers, millions of devices, billions of clients, and events that happen worldwide. And these are aggregated across access points, across switches, across MXs, SD-WANs, even from the clients themselves. Every time we have a SM or you have an Apple Fastlane type capability, we're able to absorb all this data and ultimately generate patterns. So all these are actually fed into our agile customer sort of feedback loop as well as addressing bugs and features. So this is the whole cycle of data that continues to make Meraki the most powerful wireless solution in the market today. Now let's talk about how does this data really help you, the customer. So a simple example that I wanted to give is not even a feature, it's actually a bug which was around the crack. So as you remember, there was a security issue called crack, wherein if you had an issue with respect to 802.11r and you are running a very old code, you had lots of your network was potentially vulnerable for the crack attack. So what what Meraki ended up doing is nobody cares if millions of networks are actually vulnerable. You care if your network is vulnerable. So what Meraki ended up doing was if you're a customer still running one of the old pieces of code and you actually try to enable an SSID with 11R, at that point of time we used to flash this particular alert saying that there exists a vulnerability which is going to impact your network if you turn on 11R, and we give them more information about it. Again, the way that this was delivered was via Cisco PCERT. So clearly Cisco Meraki is part of the Cisco PCERT team and definitely sort of highlights to every customer with that. But we went one step beyond. We actually went into each customer's network and said, if you are vulnerable to this attack, if your network is running an old piece of code, if you actually have 11R enabled, then we would sort of provide an announcement for you that once you click on it, you would be able to see that your network, my office lab, is actually vulnerable to crack, and therefore I should upgrade to a newer version. And this allowed me to actually click on it and go to this new version. Again, you only care about it if it impacts you, and that's what we've ended up doing for you. So this is the power of the data. Absolutely no use of showing you many statistics. If you are vulnerable, then we'll show you a way to address it and to fix it. Now, Jason, let's talk about your favorite feature, assurance, or as we call in Meraki, wireless health. So first and foremost, I'm going to jump into a quick demo to give you an idea of the capabilities that exist in Meraki's wireless health today. And then I'm going to talk about a little bit of roadmap. So let's dig really quickly into Meraki's wireless health. So as you can imagine, this is a Cisco Meraki San Francisco campus, and I'm going to show you the data for the last 1 week. Let's start digging into the whole last 1 week of data. As you can imagine, this is a very large network with hundreds of clients, thousands of users, and you can expect this to be a pretty broad network scale. So a few things that I really enjoy. The first and foremost is connectivity. This is a huge thing. As you can imagine, there were 157,000 connections that happened in the network last week. And within this, you can start seeing how many of them failed, at what step did you fail, and what really ended up happening. So the first thing that I noticed in the network is that if you can actually see that, very little number of clients actually fail to associate. So I don't need to worry about that. If I want to dig deeper, I can actually, start looking into, more details of where did it fail to associate. Then I dig into the authentication part of it. So this is where there is a big problem. As you can see, at this stage, there is a failure to authenticate. Beyond this, there is a failure for DHCP, DNS, and the failure to pass traffic. So let's dig more deeper into this. You can actually take a look at the pictures of the different access points in the building. You can go and drill down that from that angle. But my personal favorite are these three tables. Firstly, it'll give you an idea of show me the worst APs where you're having the authentication problems. So you can actually click on this. Each of this is a hyperlink. You can see the AP on the fourth floor. The 19th AP is the one that has the most authentication failures. As you can imagine, it is definitely one with the most failures. So now you can start understanding that if you take care of these two problems, these two APs, right? The third floor 33 and the fourth floor 19th, these two APs can actually solve for the majority of issues on this building. So you can clearly sort of, as an IT administrator, start understanding what do I need to do to actually address the issues. Then you can dig deeper into this and say, show me the clients that are having the issues. Now you'll start understanding that this particular MAC address is the one that has over 7,000 failed connections, and Adam Slater's loaner laptop seems to have over 5,000 failed connections. So this leads me to believe that some of these devices are actually left over there, over the weekend. These are the ones that are, borrowed devices, borrowed laptops, wherein somebody's entered username password incorrectly and actually left them there, even though there are multiple authentication errors. And then the third part, which is super exciting, is actually connection by the OS type. So I've noticed personally multiple customers that did software upgrades for Windows and Macintosh. You can just take a look at this over a period of time. You will notice that the different types of errors keep changing as the OS keeps getting upgraded. So you can start understanding what kind of devices have the most failures. Once you're done with connectivity problems, the second part that's exciting is actually the packet latency or quality of service. Before that, I just wanted to highlight to you that if you want to drill further into this, you can actually understand, show me the problems only for Meraki Corp or for different SSIDs, show me the particular VLANs that I want to filter by, and that'll allow you to drill more deeper into this and understand exactly where the problem is. So in order to simplify this, I'm just going to start looking at data for one day. So this will be much more faster in response. So the other part that you can imagine, right, is packet latency is the other one that's interesting. So Meraki also offers the ability for you to understand what kind of quality of service are you getting for different kinds of data. The four data types are actually as defined by WMM quality of service. So you can see the voice, video, best effort, and background traffic that's available on the dashboard. What you will notice out here is voice, best effort, and background seem to be pretty good. Video seems to have some issues. About 1% of the traffic actually has latency between 128 to 512 millisecond, which we would define as red. So as you can imagine, it's a pretty good network. Now this again gives you an idea to understand which APs are actually having poor latency. And this is where you can see that the 67th AP on the third floor has poor latency. So there are only 4 APs with poor latency that have been identified. And then beyond this, once you start looking at this, you can similarly notice what client devices actually have, poor latency by operating systems. So let's dig back into the slide decks to understand what is the roadmap. So now that this is a capability that's shipping for you, wireless health, each one of you can click on wireless and wireless health to actually understand how your network is performing. Beyond this, let's understand how is Meraki evolving our wireless health capability. First and foremost, take a look at the Meraki network health solution. This becomes part and parcel of the overall network health solution. The wireless health is simply one component out of it. So firstly, you have systems manager, which exists on the clients. So when you have systems manager, an optional solution, you can actually take advantage of the MDM capabilities within here, and you can get robust mobile and computer device management. So whether it is wiping a lost device or whether it is taking care of specific applications down there, you can get a lot of capabilities such as fast lane optimization and so on with systems manager. Then you jump into wireless network health. This allows you to troubleshoot what's happening in your network and also get an idea of how is the quality of service. The third component is the Meraki dashboard itself. So if you click on the switching capabilities, you can actually start looking at the layer 2, the layer 3 network and get a nice topology view of this. The second part you can actually understand is actually jump into other capabilities such as packet captures. A packet capture is available to you down at the access point, at the switch level. Every component, even the MX has that capability built inside there. So you can actually build a hop by hop complete packet capture and understand and troubleshoot where do you have a problem in your network. The last but not the least is Meraki Insights. Now this is a great capability that's available to you. You can understand over and above what happened within the network, you can actually understand what happened within the apps itself. So this is a pretty cool capability because if you are a company like Meraki, doing a lot of data, a lot of applications that are in the cloud, you can actually take advantage of, Meraki Insights to track the capabilities of Google. You can understand what kind of different devices, if you're doing, different kinds of uploads and downloads over a cloud-based application. Meraki Insights actually gives you a complete end-to-end view. So as you can notice, between systems manager, between wireless health, between the Meraki dashboard itself and the Meraki Insights, you get a complete comprehensive view of your network. The next thing that's interesting from a wireless health standpoint is we are actually hearing a lot of customers and partners say, can I get APIs? And this is what Meraki worked on recently. We actually have APIs that are available to you that you can exercise. So if you look at create.meraki.io, you can take a look at all the different APIs that are available. You can get a lot of free code from GitHub. So there is a lot of functionality and capability that's built inside the dashboard, but also the APIs that are available. So this way, if you're a customer with tens of thousands of APIs, if you're a partner managing a lot of customers, you can actually get your own alerts and create your own system on top. So even though we love our own dashboard, I think if you are sort of managing a very large network, simply want APIs to track how's my network doing, you can actually do this using the wireless health APIs. The next part that's pretty exciting as well is the hop by hop view of the overall network. So Meraki offers the ability for you to look at whether it's a MacBook Pro connected to a MR5253, connected to a switch, connected to an MX appliance, and exercising some of the Google Docs applications. You can actually start going all the way hop by hop and understand at every level how is the network performing. Show me the packet capture at every level. Show me the event log at every level. So this is the kind of capability that Meraki is building inside our wireless health. You can definitely go ahead and exercise this. If you want to trial out any of these beta capabilities, reach out to one of your Meraki sales rep who can give you access to all of these. The last but not the least is actually around the alerts. This is a pretty interesting capability, very simple functionality for you. If over 40% of my connections are failing on this particular SSID, then send me an alert. Start putting a time bound over it, over 2 hours, over whatever days, you can start doing it from that angle. If you only care about the number of clients that fail over a certain number within the last few minutes, you can provide an alert or alarm to that effect. So these are incredibly powerful. Again, the goal of Meraki is to make sure that you, the customers, have the ability to exercise whatever you want to manage in your network, and you don't want to do that by coming back to the dashboard over and over again. So this is incredibly capable, incredibly powerful functionality that's available in the Meraki dashboard. The last but not the least capability, Jason, that I wanted to highlight to the users today is actually distributed layer 3 fast secure roam. So over the last few months, we have added a significant amount of capability that makes Meraki phenomenal in the campus. Just to recap a few, you've got APs with external antennas that allow you to cover high ceilings. So they have been deployed in auditoriums, classrooms. There are different kinds of RF hooks, such as RF profiles, RXSOP, that's available to you, and a lot more features and functionalities and innovations that are specific for campus type deployments. But one thing that's incredibly exciting for me is distributed layer 3 fast secure roam. Now you might say, wait a minute, Jeevan, didn't we have it already? So let me just recap for you what we had before and what we are actually doing new. So first and foremost, you could always take Meraki APs and sort of send the traffic back to a layer 3 concentrator with an MX. So this is something that was available to you already. The second capability that was also available to you was distributed layer 3 roaming. So in this case, when you did not want to send your data traffic back to a MX, you could still continue to have your distributed data plane. But in this case, we actually built tunnels between the anchor AP and the host AP as the client started to roam. What we recently added right now is the ability for all these APs to maintain the keys within the APs. So imagine a very large network, say 10,000, 20,000 clients. You could actually manage to roam seamlessly between all these different APs within your network, assuming of course you've deployed them in a highly dense manner. So once you do those, you can actually simply turn on this particular latest capability with layer 3 distributed fast secure roam, and then all your keys will be maintained inside the AP. So think about a very large school, a very large campus type environment. So this kind of capability is also available. And before anybody tells you, hey, you're gonna run into sort of data plane problems, at a single AP. Think about this. Most campus environments, people are roaming from one AP to the other on a regular basis. At that point of time, your host AP and your anchor AP will always continue to be different. And for any roams that are layer 2, you would not even be impacted by this functionality. This functionality only applies to the actual layer 3 roams, which are usually between the different floors and the different buildings. Okay, so at this point, Jason, I'm going to hand this back to you for further question and answers, and I'm going to, pause the demo.
Jeevan, thank you so much for taking us through the assurance capabilities in the Meraki dashboard. I love that we just kind of go through wireless health. Thank you so much for the beta invitation for insights. I will definitely get that added into my dashboard. And I love the fact that with assurance, it's not just about, are things up? Is it speeds and feeds? It's also about, am I vulnerable? I love that. Thank you so much for taking us through that. If you guys have any comments, questions, suggestions, please put them below here, and a team as well as Jeevan will get back to you with some answers to those. Thank you so much, and happy Wireless Tuesday. This has been a presentation of Cisco's Wireless Tuesday. Be sure to continue the conversation at ciscofullbars.com, and at the top, click on the CFB Spark community. There, you can connect with scores of like-minded wireless LAN professionals. Be sure to subscribe to the Wireless Tuesday podcast using your favorite podcast player, and stay up to date by subscribing to the Wireless Tuesday newsletter at wirelesstuesday.fm. We will see you next month for an exciting episode of Wireless Tuesday.